I'm a little shorter than Joe.
Hey Joe, what's happening?
What's going on, Joe? How are you, man?
What's up, Mitch, you good?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Where you at right now?
I'm back in Williamsburg.
Oh, nice.
Yep, back in New York. Michael Grady, if you're there, you can start us off.
Gotcha. Hey, Joe, I know you're really an adaptable guy and you're focused on basketball, but what has been the oddest part of this experience so far?
The oddest part of the experience so far, I mean, I think it's just pretty much plain simple the fact that we're all just sort of isolated in Disney World. I mean, pretty simple as that. I mean, a lot of guys, obviously, we played down here, whether it was AAU tournaments, you come and play in Orlando. I know some guys, I remember a few years ago, Brooke took us all to Disney World, but, you know, a lot of us haven't spent a significant amount of time, you know, staying on a Disney property, I'm sure. So that in itself is pretty unique and probably the oddest thing about this whole experience.
Greg Logan?
Joe, from a leadership standpoint, how do you try to approach this situation? Because you really have become one of the reliables, the standbys on this team, especially with so many guys missing. So what are you trying to do in terms of interaction with your teammates, either on or off the court?
I think right now, obviously, there's a lot of teachable moments. You know, we're sort of implementing some new stuff that JB has been thinking about and even talked to us a lot about with a lot of the guys that were in Brooklyn leading up to this point. And I think now it's just about executing, making sure mentally we're all on the same page. I think you look at our roster and you got to be realistic about the fact that, you know, we're not going to out talent and a lot of teams that we're playing against. You know, we are definitely limited, but the one thing that we can't control is not beating ourselves, making sure that we're executing, everybody's mentally engaged, making the right decisions, and again, not beating ourselves.
Christian, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Joe? It's Christian.
What's up, Christian?
Good. Quick question. Have you given any thought to what you may or may not wear on the back of your jersey? And have you had any reaction, or do you guys talk as a team about the opportunity to even do that and what you might do with it?
I think everybody, you know, we haven't collectively, you know, really discussed it as a team. Obviously, I think everyone's aware that the NBA gave us a list of options to choose from. Some guys foregoed it. I think you respect everybody's decision to kind of do whatever they want to do. I'm honestly not even sure what's on the back of mine. I requested to have equality as my number one option and vote as number two.
Alex.
Hey, Joe. I was just curious how you've kind of spent some of your downtime now that you've had a few days between balancing practice and all the free time in the bubble. I know Garrett Temple brought golf clubs. Have you taken advantage of any of the stuff that the NBA's offered you guys?
I haven't yet. You know, I went into the players' lounge yesterday. They did a great job setting up sort of like a hospitality area for all the players. We, you know, we ordered in food last night as a team. We're able to watch some of the UFC fights. I'm planning on going golfing with Garrett on Tuesday, our day off. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we have at our disposal here in the bubble. The NBA has done a good job of just making sure to accommodate everybody and give us options to do in our free time.
Brian?
Hey, Joe. Brian Lewis here.
So, Brian.
I'm curious, you and Jacques and a couple of guys have touched on the idea that you guys are putting in some tweaks systematically. And I'm just curious, how would we know from the outside that this team might look a little different? Just in terms of either offensively or defensively, if you could share maybe a couple things where you guys would be visibly different stylistically.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, you look at our roster. We are obviously limited in terms of size and having bigs right now. And even when we add some of the guys that we're bringing on, we're still going to be in the same boat. So a lot of the emphasis is playing on fast, you know, switching a lot more frequently, you know, trying to be up the line, pressure guys a little bit more defensively. And again, just trying to put ourselves in advantageous situations where we're getting the ball and going in transition offensively.
Malika?
Hey, Joe. Well, I was just curious, with your guys' schedules having to share the practice courts, it means one day you're practicing at 9 a.m., the next day you're practicing at 5 p.m., then you might be practicing at 2 p.m. Is that a big adjustment? Does it affect you guys to have to bounce around like that? How do you tailor your schedule each day if you can't get into a rhythm of, okay, we practice at this time and eat at this time and do this at that time with all that bouncing around?
Yeah, I think definitely that is an adjustment. You know, obviously we're used to having pretty similar routine in terms of our practice schedule. But again, this whole thing is just about being flexible. Everybody is sort of in the same situation. There isn't one team that's here that has a consistent practice time. You know, we're kind of all in the same boat in that regard. And again, yeah, it's just everybody kind of knows we've all, you know, been warned, I guess, coming into it to level our expectations for what is traditionally sort of a normal routine. And it's all about just being flexible while we're here.
Alex?
Hey, Joe, it's Alex again. I just wanted to piggyback over Brian's question a little bit. Jacques had told us how a lot of the ideas he had for the team over the hiatus were very personnel based, and that a lot of them had to be scrapped because of the opt-outs and the roster attrition. As he talked, I know you talked about how, you know, you guys are probably going to play faster and obviously smaller because of the who had to opt out. But as he talked about specifically how he sees to use you differently, or is your role and skill set kind of going to be used similarly to how it was before all this?
You know, I wish that he had me playing a little bit more point guard, but that's neither here nor there. So no, that was a joke. Obviously, my role is pretty much exactly the same, Alex. I don't really change up a whole lot. I think you could kind of plug me in, you know, in any sort of scenario. I mean, I think maybe now because we are a little bit more undersized, I probably will have to see a little bit more time at the 4. But aside from that, you know, my role is pretty much exactly the same as it has been from the moment that I've been in Brooklyn.
Last question, Bob Windrum.
Hi, Joe. How's your shot? Any problem with the long layoff, or is it what it was back in March?
Well, I've been fortunate enough to be working out quite a bit since then. Obviously, we all were quarantined there early on, you know, for the first, you know, month and some change. But, you know, since then, I've been able to kind of get myself back, you know, where I normally am at. 3 months worth of work can wear off in 1 month of rust for sure.
That's it, Joe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.